Hello, I'm Jen. I'm the maker behind Space for Sunflowers, and welcome to another crafty business video. This week isn't quite the video that I was hoping to make, in the sense that I was hoping it was going to be a lot more positive and upbeat, and yay, it was such a fantastic weekend at the markets type of video. But we're going to roll with the type of video that it is, which is there was a market, it was disappointing, let's still talk about it sense. So, cue intro music. So hi, I had a market this past weekend. It was one that I had never done before, so I went into it with some expectation, but more so expectation of like, it's market season, and markets I think in general have been really amazing for everybody that I've seen, and I would like to just share in a slice of that amazingness. It's market season sort of expectation, not necessarily that there was a lot of expectation weighing on specifically this market. Either way, the market did not go as planned. And by as planned, I mean with an abundance of sales. It was a beautiful day. It was a great, it's hard to say it was a great location when there was no shoppers. No, there were people there, but there weren't purchases being made. So it's hard to say it was a great location, but it was a great location. It seemed like it would be a great location. It was in the back of a shopping center. It was at a brewery. It had live music. It was off the main drag, which in hindsight was probably a tick in the cons column instead of the pros column, since we were set up behind a shopping center, so we were hidden by the shopping center. And I don't think anyone knows to go down there unless you're going to specifically this brewery. You may hear the live music if you're out and about in the shopping area ahead of it, but the live music was only on for about 2 hours. It was a 4-hour market. The band that was there played 2 1-hour sets. So they played from 2, and they played late. They played from 2:30 to 3, no, that's not right. They played from 1:30 to 2:30. The market started at noon. They played from 1:30 to 2:30 and 3 to 4. And the market wrapped at 4. And it rained in the last like 10 minutes of the market. So the market really wrapped at 4. So that was the live music. It wasn't exceptionally loud, which was good. I've been at other events where like the music is overwhelmingly loud. It was a very chill vibe. They played cover songs that were more low-key. I'm trying to think of what they played, like Nora Jones, and they did play the Black Eyed Peas, but they did kind of a low-key version of the Black Eyed Peas. Oh, no, it wasn't Black Eyed Peas. It was Outkast. It was Hey Ya. That's what they did. It was the low-key version of Hey Ya. Yes. And I have heard that used, like that version I had heard previously in like shows or movies or something. So it was the down-tempo version of Hey Ya. They had some original music, which was fine. It all fit the vibe. So that was good. There was a variety of vendors there, so I don't think it was an issue of it being oversaturated. I knew, because I looked ahead of time, that there was going to be at least 1, if not 2 other crochet vendors there. We weren't within sight of each other, which was good. I think it was 2, because the other 2 it was sort of set up in an L shape. So there was the walkway down this way, the music was set up here. There was the walkway down this way. That's where I was. The brewery was over here, and then there was another along the train tracks along the back. And the other 2 crochet vendors were back there. So it was good in terms of like not being right on top of each other, not oversaturating. I only saw 2 other people carrying around other crochet vendor products. neither of which were things that I sell. One was a snowman, super cute snowman, by the way. I don't know who the vendor was, but the snowman was cute. And Mabel the chicken, which I know a lot of makers make Mabel the chicken. I purposefully stay away from Mabel the chicken because so many other makers make Mabel the chicken. I do have chicken keychains that I use, but I haven't gotten into the full chicken because they're super popular. And not to say like I don't want to make something because it's super popular, but I don't want to make something that everybody else is making, because then that makes it harder for all of us to sell Mabel the chicken. It doesn't help the other vendors. It doesn't help me because we're all selling the same thing. So I let them have Mabel the chicken and I do other things, other chickens. So those were the only two people I saw walking around with other crochet products. Oh my goodness. Very yawny today. Dang daylight savings. So yeah. You'd think it would have gone well. It did. So let's take a quick look at the market itself. I did take some videos in preparation and of that morning and set up, and I had a friend stop by and take a video. So let's do some of that. Good morning. It is Sunday, November 2nd. It is market morning, and we're about 1 hour away from heading over to the market to set up. I have not packed the car yet, but I have charged my devices. I've finished some last minute projects last night, and I just wanted to show these real quick because these are the snowflake ornaments that I was making in New York. I, on a whim yesterday, ran out to Michael's, grabbed some fabric stiffener, and pinned them last night or yesterday afternoon to dry overnight. And it worked. I am so happy with how this turned out. Even this Premier super soft yarn, cotton yarn, it's holding its shape. Look at that, it's lovely. So we're gonna string these up and put these on the tree to go with my snowmen and balls, Christmas balls that I made last year. And these are great. I love these. The pattern is by Mushy. It's a free YouTube short. And yeah, just a little bit of fabric stiffener and some string, and these will be good to go. Quick little packed car update. We're about 25 minutes away from leaving, and the car is packed, stuffed to the gills. Why do I do this to myself? You can also see I forgot about my pegboard, so it's on top. Normally I pack that on the bottom because it's nice and flat, but I forgot it existed, so it's on the top today. Also forgot to hack my wagon, but it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Not a lot of sales. It was a 4-hour market, and when I say not a lot of sales, drum roll, the big final number was I had 8 transactions. It was very disheartening, to say the least. It actually, this is my second time recording this video because I rambled quite a bit too much in the first one. Yeah, it's hard to give an update when it didn't go the way that you wanted, but it's all part of the learning experience is what I'm telling myself. I had never tried this market before. I will not do this market again for multiple reasons, the least of which, not the least of which, but one of which being the lack of sales at this particular market, which I know, I mean, any market on any day can be hit or miss. It all depends on the crowd, the day, who knows, the cycle of the moon and the sky. There's so many factors in determining what will make or break a market. This one, though, it was by the same organizers who do the foodie fair, which I'm doing again. I said I was going to reserve judgment on that one until after my next go of it, which is in 2 weeks, because the last time I did it was the opening of the North Carolina State Fair, which was just a terrible time in general to have a market. And they had another event that was more seasonal that same day, which that kind of rubbed me the wrong way when I learned that, because I was like, why are we having two events compete with each other by the same organizer? You're just diverting your own numbers at that point. So that kind of sat with me the wrong way, but we'll give the foodie fair one more go since I've already signed up. I'm already in. I've already paid. I've got my spot. Let's go. Let's hope it goes better. That day did go better than yesterday, with the fair going on, with a conflicting market by the same maker in the next city over going on, with 8 billion markets going on around Raleigh, Cary, Durham, Chapel Hill, I'm sure, Wendell, all in that same day. So against all odds, that market did go better than this market yesterday. I don't know how much better, actually. That would be interesting to look at. Let's do a quick compare. I had 8 transactions yesterday. Let's look in here. I had 10 transactions at the foodie fair. These are not good numbers. Let me just say, it's rough out there. It's rough. It's been rough this year in particular. It's been a learning year. I had somebody come by and ask yesterday how this year had gone for me at markets, and I was honest and said it's a learning year. I'm learning a lot. It's not a business I've ever done before. This is just cresting into my second year of business. So just honestly a month into my second year of business in this space. What I do as a day job is nothing related to this, not even close. I haven't even worked in sales since I was in college. Retail, sales, that sort of thing. So yeah, it's all a bit different, and it's a big learning experience and a learning opportunity, and I'm grateful for the kind of comments, even if they're not sales. I am so grateful every time somebody comes into my booth and picks up my stuff and plays with it and says how cute, even if they put it right back down again. I'm just happy to be out there and to see people interact with and engage with the things that I'm making, because honestly, I make this stuff because I like to. It's fun for me. I'd be making it anyways. Yeah. And I need to keep that in mind for sure, especially after a weekend like this one. So let's talk about what sold at this market. Not much, but let's talk about what did sell. I am going to go down the actual list because there were 8 transactions, 9 items. That's not too much. We can get that knocked out in the next, 90 seconds. So not that it's a race. So what sold? These are in no particular order. I don't know how other makers do the thing in Square where they can break down like by the hour what sold. I can't figure that out. Either it's a feature you have to pay for, and I'm not using the paid version of Square, I'm using free Square other than the transaction fees, or it's just they have some kind of knowledge of that I don't have. So anyway, we're just going to go down in no particular order. Things that sold. I sold a set of cross-stitch mitts. These are fingerless mitts. that I make. All the pattern designers will be linked down below. I didn't prepare to say the pattern designers out loud, which in hindsight was kind of foolish, but we're here now. So the cross stitch mitts is actually a pair that I had made at the foodie fair. I was sitting there making these because I had forgotten my polyfill. So I made these at the last market. They sold at this market, so that was great. And with that was sold a granny square beanie. Obviously I don't have the granny square beanie, but I have one similar. So I made this last year, and this was before I changed the style of granny square that I use in the beanies. So this was my original test. It came out obviously way too big to wear on like anyone's head. I can show you how big it is. I have a small head, but like this is a Halloween costume. This is not a hat. This is, maybe it is a hat. There. It's a vibe. You know what? Remember Blossom? Could put a big flower on this, and this could be a Blossom hat. Wish I had a flower. Oh, I have a flower. Craft. There we go. It's a Blossom hat. Anyway. So this style, just a typical granny square, actually in the same colors as this. This yarn is a Karen cake. It faded, I think it was called Tin and Tan was the colorway. It faded from this like copper all the way to a silver gray. The darker oranges were used on this hat, which honestly, I have debated turning this into a bag for years now. I could add a strap to it and it would be a cute little bag. Maybe I'll do that. I have gray yarn right here. So maybe I will do that because that would be cute. Anyway, granny square beanie in this style, not this big, sold for $35. That was exciting. The cross stitch mitts were $20. They made a great set together. I sold a medium axolotl plush. I hadn't sold for $36. I hadn't sold an axolotl plush of this size since I don't think last year. I'll have to look back, but I think that's the first oh my god, medium-sized axolotl plush that I had sold. Another free pattern. The granny square beanie doesn't really use a pattern. The cross stitch mitts are a free pattern as well from Ravelry. I will link it all down below. The granny square beanie wasn't a pattern. It was just granny squares put together as a beanie. The axolotl plush was a free pattern on the blog. I don't remember what the name of the blog was, but it's a really cute axolotl. It's so cute. It looks like a little baby in that it's laying on its back with its arms and its legs up. And you don't stuff the body or the tail. You just stuff the head. So it's like a lovey and it's super cute. I love it. And it's got like some gills that you add to the top of its head. If I have a picture, I'm sure I do. I'll put it here. It has some gills that come up on the top of its head. It has its frills. It has its tail. It's adorable. It has frills on the tail. Love it. Sold that for $36. That was exciting. Fox plush sold. Fox was so sweet. Christine from What's Up Cupcake's family came to visit and they bought the fox, which very, very excited to see them come to the market. It was very nice. It was the right boost at the right time. I will say that because it was in the last hour, it was in the last half hour. And I was sitting there, I was working on my water bottle cover, which you can see now has completed. I'm just finishing up the strap and then this will be ready for this weekend's market. What is with the focusing? There we go. I focus and then I pull it right out of focus. Well done. So I was working on this. I look up and I saw them standing right there. I was like, oh my God, hi. So that was great. It was just the boost I needed in that last half hour. But yes, one of her sons loves foxes and he saw I had a fox and he named even what type of breed of fox it was. Honestly, it was variegated. I'm looking all over the place because I'm looking for this yarn. It was variegated yarn, but it looked like this breed of fox, and he was like, that's a blah 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 fox, and so he bought it. Super cute. I'm happy he'll have it, add to his fox collection. So that was amazing. I sold and that sold for $18. I sold a mini frog plush for $5. A medium-sized octopus plush, also a free pattern. Everything I sold this weekend was a free pattern. Looking through every single one, it was either an wrong. The fox is not. The fox is the Cozy Buckeyes Market Fox. So that one was paid pattern, very cute. I also had the wolf with me, because you can make a fox or a wolf. I made one of each. The wolf has a good story, because the wolf I made Saturday night. It was the last thing I made before the market, as my husband and son were watching NC State, the Wolfpack, take down Georgia Tech, who was previously undefeated in football. So it is a good luck wolf. And I will be telling everybody that. That is a good luck wolf. And why that's a good luck wolf. So that's a good story. So the fox and the wolf were a paid pattern. Everything else is a free pattern though. The frog mini was an Instagram pattern. Octopus plush was, who does the octopus plush? I think it's Passionate Crafter, and if I'm wrong, I apologize. But I think it's Passionate Crafter's octopus plush. It was my last one. I need to make more. These are fun. They have I'm laughing because somebody has come up to me before at a market. And they've been super intense about it. It was last year, they bought an octopus, and they came up and they're like, it's very, what's the word? And they like locked in with some eye contact. And I was just sitting there like, tactile? Yes. With the seriousness. Tactile. The octopus is tactile. Anyway, it's super fun. I do love fidgeting with the tentacles. They're like twisty, so it's fun to play with. But anyway, octopus sold. Shark plush sold. I only had one. I made sure to tell people because I moved it. I usually have it over on my shelf, on top of my tabletop shelf, and I had moved it this time because I had a whole setup going on over there with Harry Potter mystery boxes, and so I had owls and spiders and dragons and cats and mushroom boys and toadmatos, like everything that I could conceivably fit within the wizarding world was over on my standing table, and the table shelf and the standing shelf in front of it and the hanging baskets. It was like a whole thing over there. So I had moved my ocean stuff to my full size shelving unit. And they were actually kind of down on the bottom because I'm like, summer's over. I was pushing more fall-y type things. People still found the octopus. They still found the shark. Somebody had come in at one point and asked about this wasn't the person that bought it, but somebody had come in at one point, actually they bought the axolotl, asked what do 11-year-old boys like, and I was like, well, I have a 10-year-old, and his favorite things would probably be the Among Us characters. And she was like, I don't know what that is. And I was like, okay. I'm like, it's a video game, they play it. I'm like, or the shark. I have one shark today, and they're very popular. They didn't end up buying the shark. They bought the axolotl, but somebody else came in and bought the shark. Super cute. I love the shark. That's by the Yarning Portal. I love that pattern. Love it. There's another pattern that I saw on Instagram for a whale shark, and I think I might for this weekend try to have both, have the great white and the whale shark, because sharks are still going strong well into November. I mean, it's November, not well into November. It was November 2nd, but it's November now, and like sharks and octopus, it's funny because I noticed this last year too. My sellers last year were stingrays, axolotls, octopi. I didn't have sharks then, but it was all ocean creatures. And then over the summer, the spring and summer, it was very gaming focused. The koroks, the creepers. The koroks and creepers are my best sellers for the whole year. I've sold more of those than I think anything else. And Harry Potter mystery boxes. Those are my top 3 for the year. We've got koroks, creepers, Harry Potter mystery boxes. I didn't have any koroks and creepers at this market. I will fix that for the next market, even though it's this weekend. So anyway, shark plush. Those were 15, the octopus, the shark, and then I also sold another toadmato, which I love that because I just love a pun. People see it and they're like, it's a tomato frog. And then they read the little tag and they're like, oh, it's a toadmato. And I'm like, because I think the pun sells it, to be honest. Like when I saw it, another free pattern on Instagram, when I saw it and I saw it was called a toadmato, I was like, oh, I need that in my life. And so does everybody else. But yes, I'm making that. So anyway, that was cute. Those all sold for $15. And then the last thing that sold was a standing kitty plush for $14. That one was a little bittersweet because the man that bought it, and he was very nice. We had been chatting for a while, and then he's like, I'm gonna get something for my wife because all she wants is crochet stuff. And I was like, oh, great. And he goes over to the kitties because they were all in the section together. And he's like, is this a piglet? And I said, no, it's a kitty. And he's like, oh. And he bought it anyway. And I was like, I tried to laugh it off and be like, oh, you know, all those little market animals at some point, they all kind of look the same. But I'm like, they do look like pigs. And I think that every single time I put them out, they look like pigs. And I'm like, they're not pigs. I need to fix that. They look like pigs. They're kitties. Speaking of kitties, well, let me finish this first. Then we'll speak of kitties. So, grand total of 8 transactions, 9 items sold. A disheartening day all around. That means the total collected was $179.65. $119.65 of that was on the card. $60 in cash. I paid $6.65 in taxes, and I had $4.02 in Square fees, which brings the net total down to $175.63 for this market. It was a 4-hour day at the market, not including setup, tear down. All of my inventory is still in my car. I haven't even dealt with that yet because it started to rain right when it was time to pack up yesterday, so it was kind of a scramble to get packed up. Thankfully, it was kind enough to stop raining just long enough for me to get the tent down and everything into the car, and then it started to rain again. But when I got home, it was still raining, and so everything has still been in the car. It's still in the car now. I don't know if I'm going to take it out, though, because I have a market on Saturday. So I might not. I might just leave it. If it's just me driving around, I mean, the only reason I would need to take it out is if anyone needs to come in the car with me and sit in the back seat. But I don't know if I need to take anybody, if I need to do that at any point this week. So I might just leave it. I don't usually do that because, I mean, the weight will weigh it down and gas mileage and all that stuff, but I might leave it this week. Give myself a little bit of a break in terms of that. And I don't have to pack up again before Saturday, which would be nice. So that was the day at the market. Yeah, it was disappointing. One of the biggest disappointments, though, was Not in there in any of the sales, you'll notice, were the words mystery box. I did not bring my mochi axolotl mystery boxes. I'm sticking to the plan that those are for the foodie fair. Although I might take them out of the mystery box. I might, because they might sell better if you can see what they are, because they're really freaking cute. So I might repurpose those boxes and take them out of the boxes and just sell them. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. If you have thoughts on that, let me know. I would be really interested to hear, because yeah, I'm not a big, I hadn't been a big mystery box person until this fall with the Hogwarts mystery boxes. And I call them Hogwarts internally. They're not, they're Wizard House mystery boxes, because please, please, please don't come for me. There's nothing on them that's proprietary. It's just the 4 animals that they are happen to coincide with the 4 mascots for the Hogwarts houses. So I have a lion, a badger, a snake, and a raven. And that's the glue that holds them all together, is that those happen to be the 4 mascots of the Harry Potter Hogwarts houses. So I had busted all week, including working by the literal light of a campfire in my cul-de-sac on Halloween night while handing out candy, to make 18 Wizard House mystery boxes for this market. I had 2 prior. I had made 12. 12? I had made 12 previously. I sold 2 at a test market, and then I sold, no, I made, how many did I make? Yeah, 2 at a test market. I made 12. 2 at a test market. And then 8 at a wizard themed market. So they were really made for the wizard themed market. I didn't say that they were exclusive there or anything like I did with the mochis. They just, I happened to put them out or make them for that market specifically. Sold 8 of them at that market. So I had 2 left over from that, because I had, between the 2 markets, I had sold a total of 10. And I was like, you know what? Let's bring these back. These are cute. Everybody loves Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter. I have a ton of other makes that go with Harry Potter. So I have the spiders, I have owls, I have cats, I have toad maidens, I have mushroom boys, I have dragons, I have things that just, they go together with Harry Potter. So I was like, that would make a cute display. So I did that. I leaned in hard, knowing I have several markets coming up and wanting to get ahead of the curve. All right, we are going to pack some Hogwarts mystery boxes, hey kitty, for tomorrow's market at the Bond Brothers in Cary, North Carolina. I've got my boxes laid out here. I made 20 Hogwarts mystery boxes for this market, which, considering I only had 2 left, I actually had to make 18. And I did it. So let's pack these up. What I didn't expect was to sell exactly 0 at this market. That was a little tough, because I had made 18. I made 4 lions, 4 snakes, 5 badgers, 5 ravens in like 3 days or something like that, in preparation, expecting to sell at least a few. Not a ton. I didn't make 20 thinking I'd sell even 10, half that amount at this market. I just wanted to be prepared, could sell a few, and then I wouldn't be under pressure to immediately replenish before the next market. That was the end goal. Well, I'm not in any pressure to replenish before the next market because there's nothing to replenish because nothing sold. That was a little challenging. It is what it is. So that's why I'm starting to rethink, maybe we take the mochis out of the mystery boxes for the foodie fair and have people see them, because the pictures do not do the mochis justice. I mean, the Hogwarts or the Harry Potter or the Wizard House boxes, I mean, they're super cute, but they are small. They're little Poggy's Place for the most part, except for the snakes. The snakes was made by somebody else, pattern designed by somebody else, made by me, designed by somebody else, but the rest are Poggy's Place designs. So they're very small, cute, perfect for mystery boxes. The mochis are a little bit more involved. Those were by, I think, Woolly Amigurumi. Free pattern on Instagram, and they have little accessories. So like they're different flavors. Like, for example, by accessories I mean like the Oreo flavored mochi has an Oreo cookie hat. I made a green one and called it matcha. So I put a leaf on it as a hat, but like the cherry has a cherry blossom hat. So like they're customized and specific, and they're super cute. So those are a little bit more involved, but because of that, they don't translate as well on the photo, I don't think. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. If I should take them out of the mystery boxes or if I should leave them in the mystery boxes. I go back and forth. I'm not a mystery box person as a shopper myself, but I know that a lot of people get caught up in the mystery of it all. Like, what could you get? It could be anything. That scares me, to be honest, because I'm like, if I'm going to buy something, I want to know what I'm buying. So I don't know. I could go either way on mystery boxes. The Wizard House ones kind of have the double entendre of you're sorted into your house based on which animal you get. So that I get that one. I would do that. So anyway, I don't know. So that was the market. That said, this weekend. I'm going to lean into the things that I love to make and not worry so much about the things that I think will sell. What do I love to make? Well, I made this today, like just before now. A little keychain. And I know loaf cats are popular, but I think this is so freaking cute. Look at this thing. And I'm going to put a butthole on it because I think cats should have buttholes. Because cats are buttholes. I have two. I should know. And that's one of my favorite things about them, is that their little butthole is on display when their tails are up. So I'm going to add a butthole. Anyway, so I'm going to make some more of those. I'm going to finish my water bottle cover down to the strap. So, I mean, this one's done. And then I'll probably make at least one more, but not the alligator stitch for the next market, just because I don't think I'll have enough time with the other things I want to make. But yeah, I'll probably do granny square style, like the one that I have that I bring for my water bottle. I do need to make a derpy. I've been saying that for weeks now. I've got mine staring at me. Extra derpy. He's so freaking derpy. Look at him. My goodness. You're cute. Never change. I love him. So I'm gonna make a derpy. And then I'm gonna do my Koroks and Creepers because, you know, I miss them. I haven't had them in a bit. And I love them. I love making them. The Koroks especially are fun to make. So I'm going to do that. I do need to also make another shark because, like I said, the sharks sell every time I have one. I have another pattern, so that I have the great white shark from the Earning Portal, but I also have another pattern, and I forget who the designer is, but it's an Instagram pattern for a whale shark that I've been sitting on. So I think I'm going to make one of each. If I have time, I'll make time. So that way I have 2 sharks and I have 2 different styles of sharks. I would like that very much. Yeah. Yeah. And if I have time, I do want to make some more standing kitties, because as much as it hurt to hear somebody ask if it was a piglet, they do look like piglets. They're on my list of things that I should probably frog and revisit, because my stitching has changed. I used to do yarn over. I now do yarn under. I've got the shaping down a little bit. I'm more comfortable with amigurumi than I was when I made even those cats. So I think I need to revisit them. Another thing I want to revisit is my sushi rolls. They got a lot of attention this weekend. No purchases, and honestly, I can't fault them for not selling, because they're these fish that convert into a sushi roll and back again. So it's interactive. The fish I made in Bernat, but I didn't have any white or black at the time I made them, so I used Premier Just Chenille, which is not the same size as Bernat. And it's obvious, and it's tight, trying to get the fish to go into the sushi roll. So, and also chenille in general, like when you play with it, like it's messy. It sheds. It's not really like, it's great for like Derpy, because I'm not going to be flipping Derpy in and out of himself. I'm just going to snuggle him because he's cute. The fish, that kind of handling, the chenille isn't holding up as well too. So I'm going to revisit those. I probably won't frog what I have just yet. I'll probably focus on making from scratch with the yarn that I have. But as I start to replenish, I'll pull those out into a frog pile and I will fix them moving forward. So yeah, I think that's what it's going to be this week. So that's a lot to do. I mean, we just made a whole checklist of things that I probably won't have time for this week, but I'm going to tell myself that I am, and that's going to be that. So, lessons learned from this past market, but I'm going to take it and I'm going to not be discouraged. I'm going to go into this next market and I'm going to boost myself up by making things that I love this week and just leaning into that. Just even though I told myself when I left yesterday, like, oh, you don't need to make anything because you can't sell anything. I'm going to make stuff this week because it's what gets me excited, and I don't want this business to be a struggle. I want to continue to have fun. I want to enjoy it. And you know what? If things aren't selling, or if I don't like the things, you can always frog it and redo it. This cat is cute. I love it. Look at it. Just imagine it with a butthole. All right, I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna put a butthole in this cat and make it some friends. And I will see you all. I'll see you all here next week with another, hopefully more exciting market recap video. And if not, check me out on Instagram. So if you like this video, you want to see more content from me, you can like it, you can subscribe, you can come follow me on Instagram. I do post some posts and reels throughout the week of my market prep, so you can get little snippets that way. And if not, I will see you next week. Bye.